After seeing Dune Part 1 and 2, I decided to go back and read the book that started it all. Written by Frank Herbert, Dune was originally released in 1963 through 3 separate parts in a magazine. At first it was one book called The World of Dune, and then it was another part called Dune the Prophet. These were combined together, and now they're released as the first book known as Dune. Shout out to his wife for providing for the family while he was doing research to conceive the lore, characters, and world featured in this book. I'm calling it the pettiest book I've ever read because much of the book has to do with nuances, from characters glancing, hesitating, to choosing which words to say in order to make sure they get the right reactions from people. It's pretty much nuanced throughout the entire story. For me personally, it helped realize every character's motivations. It's not a clear villain or hero in this story. Of course, we got our main characters and protagonists, but we got everybody else. Whenever their perspectives and everything get explained, you get a clear picture of who these people are. If you're a fan of those chosen one stories like The Matrix, this book is for you. At the center of the story is Paul Atreides, the son of Leto Atreides and Lady Jessica. He comes from such an untraditional upbringing that he has no choice but to embrace it because that is all that he knows. Whether it's his mother being from an organization with special abilities and powers, or his father being the duke of his family. I got the sense that he became who he is because he embraced his entire self, his masculine self, and his feminine self. It's certain places in the book where people mention that he looks like his mother, but he acts like his father. He also has visions of the future which do a good job at foreshadowing possible stories in future books in the series. This started off as one book in 1963 and then ended up becoming an entire franchise. There was a movie in the 80s, there was a series in the 2000s, and now with the most recent movie starring Timothy Chalamet, we're getting to the epic third part. I gotta admit, I was lost at first, but when I started getting a hang of the world and the way how the characters talk and the way how every chapter starts off with a parable, so much so that I read the next book in the series, Dune Messiah, which is gonna be the story that this third movie coming out is gonna be based on. After reading the book, I had much more respect for the movies, and I'm also anticipating how this third part is gonna be translated onto the movie screen. It's so many books in this series that even after Frank Herbert died, RIP, his kid continued the legacy. I don't know how long this movie series is gonna be, but if it stays as epic as that first and second book in the series, we're gonna be seeing Dune for a long time when it comes to these movie adaptations. That's it. I'm gonna catch y'all later. Just a recommendation, no spoilers. I want everybody to enjoy it just in case they decide to go read it themselves. I'm gonna catch y'all later. Y'all stay geeked.
What is the message? What is the statement that you're attempting to make here?
Don't trust leaders to always be right. I worked to create a leader in this book who would be really an attractive, charismatic person for all the good reasons, not for any bad reasons. Then power comes to him. He makes decisions. Some of his decisions made for millions of people, millions upon millions of people, don't work out too well.
In a general sense, not in a specific one about Leto and about planet Arrakis, but in a very general sense, do you make this statement because you're disenchanted with the way others are viewing the future or preparing for the future?
Well, I think that our society was formed on a distrust for government, and we seem to have lost that distrust of government. I kid around and I say that my favorite president in recent years has been Richard Nixon, because he taught us to distrust government.
What is it, that government is a shared illusion, and when the myth dies,
yes. the
government disappears?
That's right.
Religion, government, other institutions, do you see them in any way preparing for what Frank Herbert sees as the vision of the future?
No, I have a very passionate concern for posterity. Another thing upon which this nation was founded, with a decent concern for posterity. And unfortunately, posterity doesn't vote.
Dune is going to become a Dino De Laurentiis movie.
That's right.
That Frank Herbert has written the screenplay for. Are we to expect another Star Wars type spectacle?
I really am expecting much more of a David Lynch movie. David has really written the screenplay. I hope he's using a lot of the stuff that I gave him, but I haven't seen the screenplay. It'll be ready next Friday. We are expecting the movie in a year, at the end of '83.
How many more Dunes to come?
At least one more.
Good enough. Frank Herbert, thank you.
Thank you, Brian.